come down, my lovely.
Yeah.
So the Walking in Air initiative is an event to help homeless people in Leeds who can't access services primarily, and we took our services to them. So we go to the sites and then it's a drop-in and it's advertised at the areas that we're coming on said day, and then they'll just file in and come if they want to see us or not. We've given them insoles, we've given them advice on their footwear, how to self-care. So while we were at it, we gave them packs, nippers and nail files, just so that they can go on with their own, because a lot of it was neglect. The Outcomes initiative, we had a lot of serious high-risk factors: ulceration, trench foot, deep vein thrombosis, which is basically a blood clot. Without podiatric intervention, then they could have ended up losing limbs, they could have ended up dying. We took the evidence of this to commissioners, and commissioners agreed and allowed us to then carry on doing a session every 2 months. We've had amazing feedback from the people that we've helped, just basically saying how they feel like they're walking on air, hence why we had the name. I think a good leader is someone that can think outside of the box and come up with new ideas, but also help others to think through their ideas. Overall, it was a fantastic experience, really good, and I think I can see that we did make a difference. They were just wonderful people that we met along the way, and they're living in really, really difficult circumstances, so be able to help them in any which way we can was immense, really.
I joined the Trust just over 2 years ago, and when I arrived there were a number of challenges that were apparent. Some of them had come out of a previous CQC report, a culture of bullying that pervaded the organisation. But when we looked more deeply at the stories about bullying, underpinning it all was a culture of almost neglect of staff. So we started to work with our staff to identify what was acceptable behaviour and what wasn't acceptable behaviour. We put around 7,000 people, so that's nearly all of our staff, through a professional and cultural transformation programme. And we asked them, what do you think are the cultures that the organisation shows, and what do you think are the cultures that the organisation should have? And out of that we picked the top 3 that our staff identified, which became the Trust values of care, accountability and honesty. Ever since the staff survey began as a Trust, we've been in the bottom 20% of respondents. Our latest figures show that actually we're now probably in the top 10% in terms of staff engagement with the organisation, so I think that's very positive. The feedback we get from our staff is also very clear that they think this organisation is a much happier place to work and a better place to work. If leaders can't create the right environment for people to do their job properly, then we're going to fail. And you don't do that by telling people what to do, you do that by empowering them and giving them the tools and the skills.
A hyperacute stroke service is defined as being the very, very start of the patient's journey through the healthcare systems. It's a critically important part of the pathway because it's the bit of the pathway where we try and save as much of the patient's brain as possible. There is a national imperative at the moment that lots of smaller units will stop doing this work. Lots of units are merging together. We did have a problem with the retirement of lots of consultants at Scarborough. It takes an hour to get from Scarborough to York. So we had to come up with a unique solution to how can we best serve the people of Scarborough while also maintaining the standards of having more people coming through one single unit. We call the system a triage and transfer system. The nurses at Scarborough are a very talented bunch, see the patient and decide if the patient's had a stroke or not, and then what treatment they can have right now. So that's the triage part, and then the transfer over to York. The main thing I'm really proud of is we've shown that a system can work that we were advised not to put into place, and we've actually said, well no, we can make it work, and we have.